Welcome to the Lance Wallnau Show today. Oh boy, this is interesting because at the last minute, I changed everything I was going to cover because of this footage we have exposing the corruption of this whole January 6th pipe bomb story. I'm going to actually show you the FBI footage. We got a hold of it, and it's going to blow your mind. How do you sleep at night, you might say, with all these things that are happening in the world? Well, I'll tell you the secret. My friend Mike Lindell just sent to me 200 pillows. Mercedes Sparks, he sent, actually, you got him to send them, 200 of these pillows for a conference I just did down at the Trump Doral Hotel last weekend. And I was thinking, do you know what the difference is? I actually am one of those guys that wakes up at night, and if I feel the heat on my face, I have to flip over my pillow. I have to wake up periodically. Mike's come up with a new pillow that is a temperature-regulated kind of technology so that it cools you off and doesn't build up that heat under your head, so you have to wake up and flip. I don't know if you do this, but I do this several times a night. He's got the solution, 50% off. He's allowing us to get a special discount. You want to go to mypillow.com, use the promo code Lance. Off the ordinary, like 50% off price, he's going to give you an additional percentage off for working with me. Mike and I stand together in the business of saving America. No matter how hard they hit at us, we hit back because we support each other. Go to mypillow.com, use promo code Lance, and get that heat temperature regulated pillow so you can sleep at night just like I'm about to start to do. And let's get into the show. Today, I'm particularly, not stressed out, but I'm distracted because there's so much going on that we could talk about. In the producer assistant chair over there is producer assistant Will Boone. He is our 22-year-old guy who normally is in the back of the office working on, what do you do back there as an assistant producer?
Normally during the shoots, I'm taking notes and just making sure that you're talking about the things that you are needing to be talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got some job back there. And anyway, but so today he was showing me the footage of the January 6th story that nobody's covering. And this is so big. I mean, you guys know, if you're following anything at all, Peter Navarro has been sentenced to 4 months in prison because the fake January 6th committee, which has, by the way, destroyed evidence and testimony and information, put itself together in order to build a narrative in Washington to Trump-hating, non-MAGA Republicans and the rest of them Democrats, all with the intent of trying to link the populist movement of believers in America that are trying to restore America to sanity to terror or to extremism. And it makes you mad when you see a guy like Navarro, who's a trusted Treasury advisor to Trump on how to deal with China. He got put in leg irons in public in order to humiliate him when they could have simply asked him to come down to the FBI and meet with him. And now the guy's off, sentenced to prison because of a corrupt January 6th committee who called him forward and he refused to go see them. How corrupt are they, you might ask? Well, Will, you're sitting here today in our studio audience, or actually on our desk, and you've showed me some footage, which has just come out, of what was going on with the pipe bomb. Now, the pipe bomb is the story you didn't hear about on January 6th. Why, if you have the dangerous MAGA movement putting bombs in right outside where the vice president, Kamala Harris, is, why, if we have explosives, was that not a story? I'll tell you why. Because if Plan A failed, which was the insurrection distraction at the Capitol, Plan B was the bombs, the pipe bombs. And so we find out that, it's not really a story. Don't worry about the pipe bombs. Why not worry about the pipe bombs? I think they were planted. That's why we're supposed to ignore this story. But you've got some footage. So, Will, walk us through what you got.
All right. So on January 18th, this footage was posted. So this is from January 6th. This is at 1:05 p.m. So here on the right side of the screen, you see these two cars. There's a white car and a black car there. There's a guy standing right next to this white car. He is actually Metro PD, and he is informing them of the pipe bomb that has been spotted right outside.
So you see the guy walking.
So he's walking away.
He just informed them there's a pipe bomb.
There is a pipe bomb. That's what you would do when you see the Secret Service, let them know what's going on. So he's just informed them of this bomb that's going on. So we can go to the next clip. So the next clip here, there's nothing really going on in this clip, and that's the point, Lance, because if Secret Service was informed of a pipe bomb, you would think they would be taking action. Oh, we need to get Kamala Harris out of here. We need to evacuate the premises. So we need to...
Or at least keep people from walking past the bomb.
Exactly. There's still people walking across the street.
They're still drinking their coffee and hanging out.
This entire clip is of nothing happening, which is the problem here. And it takes them about a minute to get out of their car. I think towards the end of this clip, they eventually get out of their car. But it takes them a minute to even just get out of the car. So if we go to the next clip.
You that are listening to the podcast, you just got to visualize.
Yes,
so describe this for the audience
exactly.
Who can't see
so here,
this. All right, now a guy's getting out of the car.
There's people standing out of their car. And they're just standing out the car. They're not trying to get people out. They're not trying to make a plan. They're not trying to get the vice president of the United States away from this bomb. They're just talking and chit-chatting, nothing really going on.
No, they're not putting tape around it. They're not blocking the area off.
No, they don't seem concerned.
They're basically ignoring it.
Right, they don't seem concerned for Kamala Harris. Okay, so let's go to the next clip.
We got three kind of lollygagging.
Clip 5 here.
They're walking like slow walking.
And coming up right up here, the camera guy finally, let's see where this pipe bomb is. Let's go over here. So right here in between these two benches, you can't quite see it in this footage. It's right there. There's a little shining thing right there in that bush.
There's a shiny thing in the bush near that cup of coffee.
To the left of this bush. The pipe bomb is right there. Got it on footage. But the other crazy thing is here on January 6th, on this day, it was a windy day. That coffee cup shouldn't have been just sitting there all day long if it was planted the night before, like the story says. So this is saying that there was somebody there. They set their coffee cup down.
All right, so here we have the Secret Service coming up and approaching.
So here, this is the next clip. They're walking over.
This is and the point is, this is such suspicious behavior.
Right. Children are passing by this pipe bomb, and they're not worried about it at all. And here's clip 7 here. When this guy comes up on the right side, he's taking a picture of this pipe bomb, Lance. Takes a picture of the pipe bomb, thumbs up to the crowd, and then we're out of here.
And they didn't even go over to get it?
No, they just took the picture of it, and they're still not even gone yet. The cars are still there.
So the thumbs up, got the picture. We have the pipe bomb.
There it is. Pipe bomb. We're all good to go.
All right, so folks, here's obviously you're questioning like I'm questioning. If there's a bomb, why aren't they like putting yellow tape and getting the bomb squad out there? They shouldn't know. They should be this casual about it. They should be, literally, there should be like, stop the traffic on the street.
Right.
None of that. It's as though they know this is a dud prop that is being used for political purposes, and yeah, we know about it. Now, here's the point. I want you to go to the graphic 21. When questions were raised about what was the Secret Service being told in terms of texts, like they're conscientious, Secret Service. Somehow the police or the FBI are communicating with them, and they're telling them, stand down or chill out or listen, we've already investigated this. Somebody who knows the real story is actually in communicating something to the Secret Service that indicates that you don't have to worry about this. All right, National Archives asked Secret Service to probe deleted text. What text message were the Secret Service getting? The potential loss of the records first came to light last week when the Department of Homeland Security of Inspector General, in a letter obtained by the Associated Press, told lawmakers the Secret Service messages between January 5th and January 6th were all erased. It's all part of a device replacement program. The watchdog said the messages were deleted after they had been requested as part of an investigation. What is that? Well, you know what I'm reading right there? I'm reading how the government destroyed the evidence of what they were saying to each other in text and used the excuse that on the most significant day, the day when you have 1 million or more people coming to Washington, a day when you have Plan A, which is the insurrection plan, Plan B, which is the pipe bomb. This is the day. It's like having the World Series and like ABC and NBC and Fox all decide to replace their cameras on the day of the World Series. You don't replace your phones and devices on January 5th or 6th unless you're lying about how come you don't have the information.
Right. And one more thing, Lance, even after all these things happen, they plant the bomb as the day goes on. They still went to go disarm this bomb with a bomb-safe robot because they had to put up the optics of this is a real pipe bomb. We're going to go destroy it as it should be. But they just wasted time. They wasted services, all just to put up this front to then start the distraction and to then forward the narrative of January 6th. And then the day plays on as it goes.
Now, the footage we don't have playing for you is the hooded person, the suspect who is believed to have planted the pipe bomb. A hooded suspect. They have cameras work of a guy with a hood, and he's on a cell phone talking as he's doing it. Strange to find out. There's no record. I guess AT&T or Verizon can't seem to find who that person was on the phone. Now, mind you, they go after all the January 6th grandmas and people that went into the Capitol because they can utilize the digital signal of your phone and follow it back to your house and see where the digital device goes. They don't get a name, they get a number. They follow the number, and so they could geo-target who was in the Capitol and go knock on the door and say, we know where you were because we tracked you by your phone. And your phone records show that you were in Washington. And so why couldn't they track the most interesting suspect I could think of, which would be the person in the hood who planted the bomb? Evidently, they don't want to find them because they don't have the data. They don't have the data on the Secret Service. They don't have the data on the guy with the hood. And the next segment, I'm going to show you where Barry Loudermilk, the congressman from Georgia, who's overseeing the investigation that was done by January 6th, he's discovering that they've stopped sending him information. There's information they put in a black hole and they've destroyed that Benny Johnson, in charge of this investigation, isn't giving him the password to access. In other words, why are they hiding information? Why are they destroying information? Why are devices said that they're being replaced? Why are cell phones not able to be traced? And this is with a government that has $1 trillion intelligence community that could track you if you go to Washington, but can't find a potential bomber. And I'll tell you why. It's because this is all orchestrated. And this is the intelligence community working within its own ranks in order to set up a narrative because they are afraid that Trump and you are actually going to return to power. And all that I could say is thank God that we could get this message out on a platform like this and tell you, you need to pray for the exposure of truth. Pray that the God of truth is going to reveal and pull back the layers of deception and fraud. Pray for Barry Loudermilk by name, that he'll have the courage and the tenacity to go after this because I'll show you in a minute, he's on this and he's going to expose it. And Mike Johnson is behind exposing it also. We'll be right back. I wanted to take a minute to talk about one of my great heroes of the faith, which is Mike Lindell. What's really cool about Mike is it's not just the pillow. It's the fact that the guy makes really cool products. For instance, I start my day off with my coffee. I had a cup of coffee the other day here in the office, and I said, no, I want that. It wasn't like Starbucks. It tastes better. And it was Mike's coffee. I said, what is it? They go, Mike Lindell's coffee. I said, my gosh, get a bunch of my coffees. Now, the best way to start the day is you put on these slippers, right? And have your My Coffee. If you've not worked with these slippers yet, I'm not kidding you. There's a special kind of design that Mike has put into these with 4 layers of cushion with a solid sole and a fur interior. I call it my sip and slip strategy. I start my day off by slipping on my slippers and having a sip of Mike's coffee. But you know what else I'm curious about now? Because I've got to check out the 2.0 pillow. The 2.0 pillow actually is designed so that it distributes the heat of your own head, your face. You know, you're lying there, and it makes it so the pillow's always cool. Now, I like that because I wake up in the middle of the night and have to flip over my pillow because it gets hot. Mike's solved that problem. I want you to go to mypillow.com, promo code Lance, because you can get a discount that I've set up for the pillows, for the coffee, and for the slippers. And do it today. You'll be happy. Welcome back to the Lance Wallnau Show. We have just discussed the January 6th pipe bomb curiosity, which is why is it that there's no information, on what was going on? Why is it that the bomb was never treated like a bomb? What was the lack of urgency? What in the world would the Secret Service being told that would tell them to stand down and not treat this thing like a priority when it's being discovered by Capitol Police? And where's the text of the communication? Why were they suddenly dissolved and they're missing? And January 6th is going to continue to unravel because the narrative that was being sold to America was a lie. Now, Barry Loudermilk is the man given House administration oversight of a subcommittee that is actually gathering all the necessary information to investigate that January 6th. Because the Republicans now, they have a chance to go, whoa, wait a second. A lot of weird stuff happened on January 6th. You guys are covering up and you're lying about. We'd like to get some facts. So proceeding like lawyers do, Barry's been getting the facts. But I want to play video 20, because I started watching Barry back in August of 23 when he says, this is a weird story and it's been lost. 5 servicemen, FBI agents that expose corruption lose their job. 5 police that are saying something weird was going on January 6th. They report it to the has to be corrupt inspector general working with the Democrats, hired by the Democrats, lying for the Democrats. He's told, hey, something weird is going on. All of them lost their jobs for exposing things they saw on January 6th. And I don't know if this story's ever been followed up on. And what's weird is Barry says he asked for the right to make sure there'd be no interference with future people we interview. Forget that. I want to go interview those 5 that were fired, don't you? I want to hear exactly what they said. All right, play the segment.
That right after January 6th, we had several Capitol Police whistleblowers go to that inspector general and tell them of things that they knew that was happening. Somehow, the Capitol Police finds out who those people are and they fire them.
Wow.
So there was actually no confidentiality as the law requires within the Inspector General's office. Somebody in the Inspector General's office went back to Capitol Police and said, hey, these people are coming over and reporting what's going on. So one of the first questions I asked this of the Chief of Police and of the Inspector General. 1, will you make every person that works for you available for us to question? The answer was yes. And 2, will you ensure to me that they will be protected and there'll be no retaliation? And both have told me yes. So hopefully they're going to hold to that word and we'll be able to not only get some answers, but fix a problem.
Yeah, and that's all you're trying to do, right? You're not trying to score political points like the last committee. You're just trying to get things fixed so we're safer.
Fix the problem. See, that's an actual responsible adult in Washington. But that's not what that's what they're up to. They're up to creating a problem and hiding it. So I want to go to, you hear what I'm saying? That's why Barry should be talking to the policemen that were fired. Why don't you listen to Barry, comes back 2 weeks ago. Since August, he's been working all this information, right? Barry comes back and reports he's convinced the entire January 6th thing was a narrative they were pushing and not the truth. And he's being stonewalled on getting documentation that has been deliberately withheld from him that is going to be incredibly important in proving the let's just say, the lies that have been sold to the American public. Let's go to, where do we want to go? Oh, yeah, Cassidy Hutchinson. Remember Cassidy Hutchinson, by the way? This is the gal who started off the proceedings on January 6th by saying that Donald Trump grabbed the wheel of the beast, they call it, which is the presidential limo. And he was fighting with the Secret Service in order to get the limousine to where the protest was going on. And what's weird about that is it's a completely fabricated story. However, the J6 committee and all the news covered it relentlessly as evidence that Trump was out of his mind leading this dangerous insurrection. The problem is every step of the president's journey, every minute of what he does is actually covered by the Secret Service. It's in a document, it's in a file. And it shows that there was not one moment when Trump actually planned on being at the Capitol during that protest. nor is there evidence from a Secret Service agent who testified that he tried to grab a wheel or fought with them. It was a completely fabricated story. But let's play cut 8 so you can hear what Loudermilk says. I don't want you to forget about Cassidy Hutchinson, because we have a tendency to memory hold these things and forget about them. Remember, this is where the J6 hearing started. Let's listen to what he says.
Well, we're always concerned with that, Amanda, especially dealing with this group. However, she just published a book that just came out a few weeks ago. So you would think that a whole lot of that information that she still has in a box somewhere as producing this book. And I can tell you, I do have a copy of it. My staff, our committee has copies of the book, as well as some others who have written books. And we're going through that as well to help us in kind of directing some of our questions for her, because we want to get those documents, we want to get the evidence, and then we want to talk to her. We want to see what was really driving her to significantly change her testimony from somewhat in favor of Donald Trump to adamantly opposed to him.
Yeah. On that point, sir, there has been a report, I think in the Business Insider it was, that they saw some GSA records. We haven't been able to find them yet ourselves. We've been trying.
All right, let me just say something here. She significantly changed her story from what she had originally said. The question is, why would somebody significantly change their original testimony? Why would they do that? And we just got 27 seconds. Play video 9. I want to complete this thought.
The mainstream media was lied to by this select committee. They were duped by this committee. They ought to be as angry about this as other people are, because they should expect a level of trust just like the American people do, because the American people have a right to know the truth, and people in the press have a right to know the truth as well. And I think that mainstream media ought to be as upset about what we're uncovering as anybody else ought to be, but they just don't seem to be.
Why do you think it is that the mainstream media is not interested in the pipe bomb? Why isn't mainstream media interested in Cassidy Hutchinson having her testimony contradicted by the Secret Service that was with Trump? Why do you suppose mainstream media isn't interested in the deletion of text, information, and data? Didn't you tell me that there's terabytes of data? I didn't want to keep cannibalizing that interview with Solomon, but I mean, Loudermilk goes on to say that there's data that has been lost and withheld from his committee on purpose. Is that
right? So in the other video from Loudermilk, actually, he was talking about how they've got subpoenas, we've got other videos. And what really happened was they didn't have any of the stuff that they said they were talking about. So then January 6th committee, led by Benny Thompson, was required under law to preserve and turn over all data related to its probe at the end of the congressional term. Turns out that there was factual errors, and they turned over 4 terabytes of data.
4 terabytes of data. Loudermilk said his committee only received 2.5 terabytes of data. There's factual errors all over the place in terms of what took place. In addition, Loudermilk said he discovered a letter from Thompson to White House Special Counsel Richard Sauber that his committee did not receive. The letter detailed an agreement between the January 6th committee and the executive branch to interview people whose names were later redacted. Why are the testimonies of people being redacted? Why are testimonies being withheld from Loudermilk? Could it be that there's testimonies that are actually going to contradict what the January 6th committee came up with? And you guys have to. I know that there's a lot of information flying out there. Did you see the interview that Tucker did with the head of the Capitol Police who was requesting backup and wasn't given any? It was New Jersey National Guard that actually ended up showing up. He says that he was deliberately kept out of briefings with the FBI and higher level senior intelligence officials on January 6th preparations and logistics. As the head of the Capitol Police, he was not invited to any of those briefings. He asked for information, they wouldn't give it to him. And so when he's in the middle of this protest taking place, he's calling for assistance in order to block this thing from getting out of control, and nobody was sent to him on purpose until it was too late. Now we find out from other sources that Christopher Wray very cutely is saying that he couldn't say if there was any FBI that were in the crowd or anything. Now we're finding out from another congressman there were hundreds, as many as 200 to 300 FBI agents peppered throughout the crowd, masquerading as though they were part of the protest. How many of them were actually facilitating, like Ray Epps? Let's keep going, keep going. We've come this far. We can't stop now. Go, go, go. In order to herd the sheep in for the slaughter. I'm not saying there wasn't bad actors that were there. Listen, we had $2 trillion, what did we have? Like $2 billion worth of damage done with 200 riots and 17 policemen put into the hospital by BLM and Antifa. So America is a cauldron of discontent. I'm not saying we don't have equally frustrated people that were at the Capitol that day. I'm saying they were so in the minority that there had to be an orchestration of this event in order to create the phenomenon known as the insurrection. And from the pipe bomb to the plainclothes FBI to the bizarre videos we have of policemen opening up doors and we got people high-fiving each other. Evidently, we have a government that is willing to work with media that is complicit on lying to the American people, which means we have to be even more vigilant. We have to do the work that Solomon's doing, that Loudermilk's doing, and then we need broadcasts like this and others on Real America's Voice to get the truth out. I can't believe we're out of time already. Well, we're going to be back again tomorrow because the rest of what I want to talk about can't wait. We've got to get this next, what's happening with the border in Texas. I got some breaking news I want to give you, but we'll have to hold that till tomorrow. We'll see you again then. God bless. What happens if a natural disaster takes place? We have these weird tornadoes that hit in the Midwest and in Texas, but look at the hurricanes in Florida. People can literally have their houses flooded, or they're in a situation where they have no food or access to groceries. Everyone needs at least a 4-week emergency food kit. And fortunately, My Patriot Supply has created a 4-week emergency kit. And these products will last for 25 years. The interesting thing is they give you a 2,000 calorie per day meal. And that's the key. Delicious and 2,000 calories a day, because that's what you're going to need to sustain yourself for 4 weeks in a crisis. We had a winter freeze here in Texas, of all places, and we had a couple of days where we had no electricity. I'm telling you something, this makes a huge difference. Mushroom rice pilaf, fluffy rice and mushrooms, seasoned with red wine and herb. And then how about starting the day off? Maple Grove oatmeal, old-fashioned oats, maple flavoring with a pinch of brown sugar. This is what you want to do, 4-week emergency food kit, and that's just for you. Think about your children. Guarantee somebody around you is going to need help. You're going to want to at least have the 4-week emergency kit. Go to lancewallnau.com/patriot. Use that link, and you're going to get a special discount on their special 4-week emergency kit promotion.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more knowledge you have, the better equipped you are to navigate the world.